Hey, Sustainable Living Podcast people. I'm going to publish this as a podcast and as a video. I'm checking in with you to let you know what has happened to the Sustainable Living Podcast and what I think will happen in the year 2019. I mean, we can plan and then we see what really happens. So if you're watching the video, you see I'm sitting on a garden bench here in one of the areas in my garden I created to have a place to sit and relax and, just enjoy. And what has happened is I put all those spaces in and I never found time to sit and relax and enjoy. This is part of the reasons that you haven't had that many podcast episodes in 2018. You know that Janice left the podcast and I tried to create a community podcast inviting different contributors. That turned out to be a little bit more difficult than I thought it would be. I fully understand that people are busy, life takes over. It happens for me all the time. People just haven't been able to submit too many episodes. Totally gets that. Obviously, I'm not in a position to pay anyone. Well, maybe not obviously, but that's the reality. I'm not in a position to pay anyone to be a contributor. So it was all a labor of love. And I so appreciate the contribution we have been getting. Then you have been hearing Emily a lot on the podcast. And guess what? Emily got pregnant. Yay! Congratulations, Emily. But those of you which are women and had a baby, and maybe those of you which are fathers or have been around pregnant women, you know that a lot of women get very sick in the first months of pregnancy. And that's what happened to Emily. So she was not really able to do much beyond just surviving and taking care of her child and of life, which can be sometimes way too much. For me, I mentioned this place I'm sitting at and never get to sit down to. I have managed to overload my life with just way too many things. And there have been life events going on I don't want to get into right now, but they took a lot of my time and energy. And my health has been off. You might still hear my voice is much better, but for months at a time, if I spoke longer than a minute, I got coughing fits. I still have a lot of congestions, and I'm doing salt rinses to try to take care of whatever is going on. So I went through a bunch of tests just to make sure that there's nothing weird going on, and other parts of my body had weird stuff going on. I've had a cancer history. Your mind goes there. All of that is good. It doesn't look like there's any cancer going anywhere, which has taken a weight off of my mind, so to speak. But during that time, I was contemplating a lot, what does sustainability mean to me? What does a sustainable podcast mean to me? So one aspect of sustainability obviously is the environment, is the garden, how we show up in the world in terms of what food we are eating, what clothes we're wearing. And by the way, this shirt here, this is a shirt I used when I was doing a marathon, which is a long time ago now. Now I haven't been, a long time means like, I want to say over 20 years. And it's still good and I love it and I'm wearing it. I didn't wear it consistently during those 20 years, but all I'm saying is clothes can last a long time if you take care of it, and there's no shame in wearing clothes which is older. It's vintage maybe now. So that would be one of the physical aspects of sustainability, to not necessarily get rid of clothes which is actually still functioning, and especially if you're still liking it. But my point here is about inner sustainability. It's about how much can we actually do and what do we want to do. Being in the online space, and I listen to a lot of podcasts and I follow other people which have, Instagram accounts and whatever. However we show up on social media now because that seems to be the main way of communication. And my gut feeling a lot of time is like, slow down, people, slow down. You're just like busy, 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 busy all the time. And I'm almost getting a physical reaction when I hear about you need to do more and do not sleep, just push through it and do more. And it's like, yeah, I used to do that and it netted me a cancer, and do I really want to do that? So part of that is why you didn't see that many episodes. My voice, people getting pregnant, and just the overall feeling of overwhelmedness and looking at the busyness of our lives. So sometimes unrealistic expectations we are putting onto ourselves, combined with some technical breakdown here with my equipment, made it that we pot faded a little bit in the last year. Part of it also was that I was feeling great anxiety about the way our world is going to. I truly feel that we need to do something different very fast. And there was a part of me which looked at myself not even being able to impact my neighbors. There's a little, whatever you want to call it, little HMO right next to me. And people are spraying Roundup happily. I don't know how often, but often enough. One time is too many in my book. Feelings that I can't reach them gave me a little bit of feeling of being ineffective, and why am I even doing this? But then I thought, well, if I can't reach them, maybe I can reach somebody else. That has given me the newfound energy to come back and do this podcasting thing. I feel I want to go back to our early beginnings where we were intending to showcase people like you and me who are not famous in the world, who are doing whatever we can do in our little community and in our families. People who have some impact and also get frustrated because we want to do more, or we feel our impact is just not enough, that we are ineffective. But we are still doing it. We are still putting one step in front of the other and living in our own truths, finding ways every day to do things a little bit different. If that is you, trying your best to have an influence or to live even in your own life as sustainable as you can, we want to hear from you. There are times where I feel that baby steps are not enough, but baby steps are the first steps. And sometimes if we ask for too much of a change, then it doesn't seem possible. But when we asked for a baby step every day, maybe another one, or every week, then it becomes a lot more possible and a lot more doable. So that's my intention for this year. I think Emily will be back. She's feeling better. But then you know what happens after pregnancy, you have a baby. And that keeps you really busy too. Speaking of baby, my daughter is going to have a baby in July, so I will be baby busy too. What is all of this meaning? It means that the podcast is continuing, that I will constantly looking for different ways of bringing information to you, or just sharing my thoughts, my ideas. The format might change. It might be interviews one time, it might be a solo episode another time, it might be somebody else doing an episode. I don't know. The plan is to publish at least once a month. Everything else is bonus. Consider it bonus. I'm giving you a promise of once a month. It might be weekly, I don't know, but I don't want to promise something I'm not sure I can keep. All right, to recap it all, I will release an episode at least once a month. That's my promise. And we have already one in the bag, which is very exciting, with the eco stylist, and this one will come soon, but I'm not going to give you any dates. So please stay subscribed to the podcast. We will come back to being more regular, but life also needs to come first. Family needs to come first. Life needs to come first. Health needs to come first. All those things need to come first. Give me your ideas. Tell me what you like to hear. Do you want to hear an interview with a particular person? Just tell me. I love to hear. And thank you so much for hanging in there with us. Take good care.